Namaste guys, welcome to the January 7th session of the Hindu analysis. So coming to the page number one, before coming to page number one, I would like to announce that we have launched a climatology series that is important part of the physical geography. And it is also important for not only for UPSC, but state PSC examination and certain other examination can be also deal with that topic. So the link of the same is in the description box. Yesterday, two lecture were released. Today also two lecture has been released. So total 4 lecture has been released. And in coming time, around 8 lecture, the whole series will be completed. So stay tuned for that. So don't forget to watch that from the description box. So coming to the today's newspaper. So on the first page, in the brief section, center withdraws SSG cover for ex J&K chief minister. So for as we have seen yesterday that for prime minister's security, a special protection guard SPG is appointed, and for chief minister it is special security group which has been appointed for the security of the chief minister of the state or union territory. So now SSG protection is now limited to the chief minister of the current time and his or her family. So it is important to know. So this EWS quota was again coming in news. It is being in news from last 4 to 5 days. So it is important to read about this article, like what is economic weaker section under third amendment and how the quota, the cap for rupees 8 lakh has been derived, and also important to know how it is violating Indra Sani judgment of putting 50% cap on the reservation. So another important article is here it is TTD and Ramakrishna Mission lose FCR in Nod. So FCR is again also coming in news daily, almost daily. So we will try to come with a separate video on FCRA and also on the this economic weaker section quota and about the reservation in India. So stay tuned till then. But what is important to know from this article is Ramakrishna Mission it is an important part of the modern history, Indian modern history. It was launched by Swami Vivekanand, the famous Swami Vivekanand, whose real name was not Swami Vivekanand. Real name was Narendra Nath Dutt, and he has a younger brother, and he was also famous for revolutionary activities. You can write down his name in comment section if you know the younger brother of Narendra Nath Dutt, who was the younger brother, very famous one in the modern history for the revolutionary activities. And also you should know who was Ramakrishna Paramhans. Ramakrishna Paramhans was the guru or the teacher or the mentor of the Swami Vivekanand, that is Narendranath Dutt, and the real name of Ramakrishna Paramhans was also something else. It was Gadadhar Chattopadhyay, and Gadadhar Chattopadhyay is related to Dakshineshwar Kali temple of the West Bengal. And with Dakshineshwar Kali temple, one more important personality which is very little known but very important for the examination point of view is Rani Roshmoni. So you must read about the Rani Roshmoni and her contribution in Indian freedom struggle, especially with the Dakshineshwar Kali temple. And she only appointed the Ramakrishna Paramhans as the priest of this Dakshineshwar Kali temple. So you must see that thing as well. Coming on to the another news, here it is caste census. This article is about caste census. So what is the history of census in India? You have to see, again we are seeing almost daily. In 1872 under Mayo first, Lord Mayo under first head counting was done, but in 1881 the systematic census take place under the Lord Ripon. So till then, from after every 10 years it is continuing. And in last caste census was done in 1931. In 1941 it has been prohibited due to the to save the money for the World War II. I don't know how much money they have saved by not conducting a caste census. And after in 1951, after India got independence in 1951, the Indian government has made a policy of not having a caste census. So this is important to know. Again, coming to the important news, Russia let troops deployed in Kazakhstan. So Russia under Vladimir Putin wants to regain the lost territory of the Soviet Union. So it is important to know that Kazakhstan was a former part of the Soviet Union. It gains its independence in 1990 or 1991. So it is also important to know. Another important to know here it is the Collective Security Treaty Organization, CSTO. It is a group like NATO type group, short group in which Russia is leader and other countries are there, like Kazakhstan is there, Armenia is there, certain countries are there whose defense is the sole motto of the Russian Federation. So it is important to know. Also, Kazakhstan, as I said, that it is a former USSR. It is a part of erstwhile USSR. Its capital is Nur Sultan, and gas and petroleum rich country. So if this country is facing any internal issue, then prices of the gas and petroleum will definitely rise in future. And also it is the highest uranium producer, so uranium prices will also rise, will and all these things. Security, from energy security point of view, there are only 2-3 methods for security, for energy security, that is gas, petroleum, and of course the recent one, nuclear energy. So all are under threat with the threat of Kazakhstan. And you can write down in comment section that other than Kazakhstan, which is the second largest producer of uranium in the world. So coming to the page number 2, on page number 2, one important article was there about the Sanjay Lake losing birds to pollution. So it is important to know that Sanjay Lake is in East Delhi, so it is not too much important. Going to the page number 3. On page number 3, here it is, Tamil Nadu make lib governor's power to appoint vice chancellor. So you should know that who has the vice. Of course, the governor. It is important to know that governor is by default the chancellor of the university, state university. So as a chancellor of a state university, he appoints the vice chancellor. So uh, earlier West Bengal and Maharashtra have taken that power from the governor, and now Tamil Nadu is also planning to do so. So it is important to know. Coming to the page, another important article here, it was seasonal fluctuation in darters movement being monitored. So it is talking about the Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, also known as, very famously known as, Keola Dev National Park. I also came to know today only that Bird Sanctuary is officially known as Keola Dev National Park, and Keola Dev National Park is important Ramsar site of India, and also it is a part of Montreux Record. Only 2 sites is the part of Montreux Record. We have seen yesterday also, Keola Dev National Park, and one is Loktak Lake in Manipur. So on page number 5, on page number 5, an important article was there about the Open Rock Museum. Here it is, first Open Rock Museum inaugurated in the, where it is in Hyderabad. So it's important to know. And the museum at the CSIR NGRI. So it is important to know what is CSIR. CSIR is celebrating its 80 years of its formation. So it is also important to know. And first rock museum, and what it will display rocks from different types of rocks gathered from different states of ages ranging from 3.3 billion years to 55 billion years. So it is important to know also. Also, digitization of manuscript picks up. So what is important to know, digitization of manuscript. One important Mongolian Kanjur manuscript came in news recent 1 or 2 years back. So you should also know what is Mongolian Kanjur. It is a important Buddhist manuscript containing around 108 something things. So you should also know, and its importance in the Buddhist culture. And India has restored that Mongolian Kanjur. So a relation between India and cultural relation between India and Mongolia also, it is important. Come to page number 6. This article is very important. The politics of MSP. It is not talking about the minimum support price that agricultural people get, but the freebies that our government are distributing. Like here it is, the Aam Aadmi Party leader Arvind Kejriwal is offering rupees 100,000 a month to all adult women. Same Shiromani Akali Dal 2,000, Congress also 2,000, and Samajwadi Party is promising 300 units of free electricity. So all this free bees that are being distributed by government to attract the voters. So it is important to know. This is very important article, and how it is conflicting the India's growth rate also. So welfareism and redistribution has again taken place. That was stopped in 1991 after 1991 reform. Jobless growth is accepted because as we have seen that jobs are less, so government is trying to provide some universal basic income to the families also. It is important to know. Other important article here, it is extinguishing the tobacco. There are certain data has been given in this article. It's important to know, but what more important to know from the economy point of view, the difference between ad valorem and specific tax. So ad valorem type of tax is a tax levied on a certain product as a percentage of price, but specific tax is levied on the specific quality of a product. Like on cigarette, the tax is levied on the length of the filter of the tax filter of the cigarette. So it is important to note the difference between ad valorem and specific tax. So coming on to page number 8. Page number 8 has one important article about the MS Subbulakshmi Award finale today. So important to know that it is awarded for the Voice of the Year award. So very important to know, and who will win that award, it will be announced tomorrow. So it will be also important to know for the state PSC examination point of view. Use drones more effectively, Civil Aviation Ministry. So it is important to know the drone policy of India, and also certain classification has been done about the drone on the basis of weight that they have. So write down in comment section what are the classification that are done about, like nano, micro, like these things, and also which category do not require license to fly. It is important to know. So how it is important, what are the uses of the drones in defense, surveillance, combat, counter, home affairs, VVIP security, crime control, raids and counter terror operation, of health and family, delivery of medicine, sample collection for test, agriculture, crop and soil health monitoring, anti-locust work, insurance claim survey, Panchayati Raj land records and property rights, environment, forest and climate change, anti-poaching operation, monitoring wildlife, power, real-time surveillance of assets and transmission lines, road transport, project monitoring incidents. So these are certain important uses of the uh, drones. It is important to know. We should take a screenshot of this, so it can be useful for the mains examination point of view as well. Coming to the page number 10. Page number 10 had one important article about the page number 10. Yeah, this was page number 9. On page number 10 here it is expenditure limit for Lok Sabha assembly, Lok Sabha and assembly candidate hike. So what is important to know today, I came to know that earlier I used to think that for every constituency the expenditure limit is same, but for every constituency occurring in different state, the spending limit is different. You have to remember that thing as well. And every state has also the different spending limits. Like you can see that 40 lakh would apply in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Punjab, and 28 lakh in Goa and Manipur. So this is not uniform across the country. So it is important to know. And what are the reasons of increasing? There's 10% increase in 2022 due to COVID-19 pandemic, and also this increase in electors from 834 million in 2014 to 936 million in 2021, as well as the increase in the cost inflation index by 32.08%. So these are some data used by the Election Commission to increase the expenditure limit, and expenditure limit is increased by Election Commission only. So it is also important to know. One more important article here is about the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited jet trainer demonstrate its prowess. So it is important to know that we have our own indigenous made jet trainer, and also Hindustan Aeronautics Limited has also manufacturing the Tejas light combat aircraft fighter plane. It is also important to know, and also Kaveri engine, which is being the part of the HAL Tejas. So coming to page number 11, this is about world politics. So one important article here it is Imran Khan visit China to seek investment. So it is also important to know that CPEC project, which is running by China in the Pakistan, it is also important to know that China has became the only destination for Pakistan. Pakistan are seeking investment from only China. No other country is willing to invest in Pakistan due to their own policies. We all know what are their policies. And one important article here is North Korea test hypersonic missile. The hypersonic missile technology which India wants to develop, now North Korea has already developed. So you have to see, write down in comment section that Zircon and Avangard missile recently came in news. Which country do they belong to? And also write down the countries that write down in comment section that which countries have currently hypersonic missiles. Hypersonic missiles are nothing but whose speeds are more than 5 Mach, and 1 Mach is the sound of speed of sound in the air. And here it is also India inks deal to develop oil tank in Lanka. So where it is Trikonmali, in the Trikonmali oil tank farm in the eastern Sri Lanka. And this is known as China Bay. China Bay, not because of the presence of China, but due to the historical connection of Chinese trade through in this region. So that's why it is known as China Bay. Otherwise, no presence of China is in the eastern Sri Lankan part. So Trikonmali is important to know where it is. It is in eastern Sri Lanka, in which Indian Oil Corporation subsidiary Lanka IOC is taking charge of this, developing the oil tank in Lanka region. So it is important to know. Coming to the page number 12, here it is. Reliance raises $4 billion in the foreign currency bond. So foreign currency bond is being issued by the Reliance to raise money from the outside market. Should also know that some Indian currency bonds are there, like masala bond, and you should also write down certain other bonds which are issued in the local currency, like dim sum bond or samurai bond. You should write down in comment section and the countries to which they belong to. Also important, here it is, Ministry of for removal of import duty on cotton. So raw material, putting duty on raw material and not putting duty on the finished product is a type of duty structure known as inverted duty structure, in which we put duty on the raw material but not on the finished product. What this happens, that importing raw material became costlier and importing finished product became cheaper. So instead of importing raw material and finalizing it in the country or industrializing the country wants to import the finished product, which negatively hampers the industrialization process in the country, also reduce the employment opportunity in the country. So it is important to know what is inverted duty structure that was implemented under Indira Gandhi government. So very important to know that thing as well. On the page text and context, one important article was about the non-proliferation treaty of the nuclear non-proliferation treaty that was signed by the certain nuclear power countries and also non-nuclear power countries, that they will not develop the nuclear weapons, not use the uranium for the developing nuclear weapon, but use for for the peaceful processes. Uh, and also this here it is, China, Russia, UK, we know, but India and Pakistan have not signed the non-proliferation treaty, is also important to know. And North Korea had earlier part of NPT, but later they came out of it in somewhere 2003 or 2004. The NPT is also joined by the partial test ban treaty, very important to know, strategic arms limitation treaty, SALT 1 and SALT 2, strategic arms reduction treaty 1 and 2, comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty. These are very important treaties with respect to international relation point of view, but not so important that they will be asked in certain examination. One question may be asked, so it is important to read as well. So that's all from today's newspaper point of view. So we will meet again tomorrow. Thank you.